Ha-Joon Chang, a leading critic of economic orthodoxy. Ha-Joon Chang is a South Korean-born economist, author, and academic based in the United Kingdom, renowned for his trenchant critiques of neoliberalism, free market ideology, and global economic institutions. He is one of the world's foremost voices in heterodox economics, arguing that economic policy must be rooted in historical and institutional analysis rather than abstract models. A longtime lecturer at the University of Cambridge, Chang has written extensively for both academic and general audiences, advocating for pluralism in economic thought and a reevaluation of how rich countries advise poorer ones. His work has shaped global debates on development, globalization, and economic justice. Childhood and upbringing. Ha-Joon Chang was born on 7th of October 1963 in Seoul, South Korea. His early life unfolded during a period of intense economic transformation, as South Korea emerged from war-torn poverty into an ambitious developmental state. This dramatic context formed the backdrop to Chang's intellectual formation. He was raised in a middle-class household that valued education and public service. His father was a senior civil servant in the Ministry of Finance, where he eventually became a director. This gave the young Chang early exposure to questions of public policy and economic planning. His mother was a homemaker who provided stability and educational support at home, instilling the values of discipline and curiosity. Chang grew up with siblings in a tightly knit family, where education was paramount. Observing his father's work within the bureaucracy of economic policymaking and witnessing South Korea's rapid industrialization would later influence his skepticism towards market dogma and his preference for state-led models of development. Education and intellectual development. Chang completed his secondary schooling in South Korea before moving to the United Kingdom to pursue higher education. He attended the University of Cambridge, where he obtained his undergraduate and doctoral degrees in economics. His doctoral research was supervised by Robert Rowthorne, a noted Marxist economist and member of the heterodox Cambridge School. This intellectual environment encouraged broad critical engagement with economic theory, exposing Chang to traditions far beyond the dominant neoclassical paradigm. From an early stage, he was drawn to economic history and institutional analysis, fields often sidelined in mainstream curricula. His doctoral thesis focused on industrial policy in East Asia, and its critique of free market narratives laid the groundwork for his later published works. Academic career and institutional affiliations. Ha-Joon Chang has spent the bulk of his academic life at the University of Cambridge, where he has taught in both the Faculty of Economics and the Center of Development Studies. His academic interests span development economics, economic history, industrial policy, and institutional theory. Beyond Cambridge, Chang has held visiting positions and lectured at universities across the globe. He is a frequent consultant for United Nations agencies, including UNTAD and UNDP, as well as for national governments, particularly in the Global South. His practical influence lies not only in academic research, but also in advising policy frameworks that diverge from the neoliberal prescriptions of the IMF and World Bank. Married life and personal perspective. Chang is married and has children, though he keeps details of his family life largely private. Having lived in the United Kingdom for most of his adult life, he maintains a cosmopolitan outlook while retaining strong intellectual and emotional ties to South Korea. His public persona is warm and accessible, and he often writes with a dry wit that appeals to both academic and lay audiences. He views economics as a deeply moral and political field, rather than a technocratic science. Chang often reminds readers and students that economic policies are shaped by value judgments, and that to pretend otherwise is both naive and dangerous. Notable works and public engagement. Chang's first major publication, Kicking Away the Ladder, 2002, challenged the official history told by developed countries about how they became rich, revealing their reliance on tariffs, subsidies, and state intervention. This academic work was followed by Bad Samaritans 2007, aimed at a broader audience, which continued this argument with compelling examples and lucid prose. In 23, Things They Don't Tell You About Capitalism, 2010, Chang dismantled popular myths about the free market in short, accessible chapters. It became an international bestseller, cementing his reputation as one of the world's most engaging economic critics. He followed this with Economics: The User's Guide, 2014, a primer that maps out the different schools of economic thought, arguing for the inclusion of pluralist perspectives in both academia and public discourse. Most recently, Edible Economics, 2022, creatively used food metaphors to explain complex economic concepts. The book once again displayed Chang's gift for popularizing economics without sacrificing depth. Influence and legacy. Ha-Joon Chang has had a profound impact on both academic economics and public understanding. His work has shaped development policy debates and inspired generations of students and activists to question the assumptions of market orthodoxy. Governments in Asia, Africa, and Latin America have turned to his research when crafting alternative economic strategies, and his writings are now staples in courses on development economics and political economy. He stands within a tradition of economists, alongside figures like Karl Polanyi, Alice Amsden, and Dani Rodrik, who argue that markets must be understood in their social, historical, and institutional contexts. More than just a critic, Chang offers practical alternatives rooted in historical success stories and institutional resilience. In an era where mainstream economics is increasingly criticized for its abstraction and ideological blind spots, Ha-Joon Chang represents a much-needed voice of historical wisdom, intellectual humility, and democratic engagement.
If you've enjoyed watching this far, chances are you enjoy my channel, and so please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. And please share this video with your friends and family to spread this information as far and wide as we can. Let's hear what you think. And to everyone who believes in this country, God bless you.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to show your support.